Chapter 15, Section 3, Evidence of Evolution, Homologous Body Structures. Further evidence of evolution can be found in living animals. By Darwin's time, researchers had noticed striking anatomical similarities among the body parts of animals with backbones. For example, the limbs of reptiles, birds, and mammals, arms, wings, legs, and flippers, vary greatly in form and in function. Yet, they are all constructed from the same basic bones as shown in Figure 15-15. Each of these limbs has adapted in ways that enable organisms to survive in different environments. Despite these different functions, however, these limb bones all developed from the same clumps of cells in embryos. Structures that have different mature forms but develop from the same embryonic tissues are called homologous structures. Homologous structures provide strong evidence that all four-limb vertebrates have descended with modifications from common ancestors. There is still more information to be gathered from homologous structures. If we compare the front limbs, we can see that all bird wings are more similar to one another than any of them are to a bat wing. Other bones in bird skeletons most closely resemble the homologous bones of certain reptiles, including crocodiles and extinct reptiles such as dinosaurs. The bones that support the wings of bats, by contrast, are more similar to the front limbs of humans, whales, and other mammals than they are to those of birds. These similarities and differences help biologists group animals according to how recently they last shared a common ancestor. Not all homologous structures serve important functions. The organs of many animals are so reduced in size that they are just vestiges or traces of homologous organs in other species. These vestigial organs may resemble miniature legs, tails, or other structures. The legs of the skinks shown in Figure 15-16 are an example of vestigial organs. Why would an organism possess organs with little or no function? One possibility is that the presence of a vestigial organ may not affect an organism's ability to survive and reproduce. In that case, natural selection would not cause the elimination of that organ. Homologies also appear in other aspects of plant and animal anatomy and physiology. Certain groups of plants and algae, for example, share homologous variations in stem, leaf, root, and flower structures, and in the way they carry out photosynthesis. Mammals share many homologies that distinguish them from other vertebrates. Dolphins may look something like fishes, but homologies show that they are mammals. For example, like other mammals, they have lungs rather than gills and obtain oxygen from air rather than water. Similarities in embryology. The early stages, or embryos, of many animals with backbones are very similar. This does not mean that a human embryo is ever identical to a fish or a bird embryo. However, as you can see in Figure 15-17, many embryos look especially similar during early stages of development. What do these similarities mean? There have in the past been incorrect explanations for these similarities. Also, the biologist Ernst Haeckel fudged some of these drawings to make the earliest stages of some embryos seem more similar than they actually were. Errors aside, however, it is clear that the same group of embryonic cells develop in the same order and in similar patterns to produce the tissues and organs of all vertebrates. These common cells and tissues, growing in similar ways, produce the homologous structures discussed earlier.